Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. And as always, I thank you guys coming to my channel. Today I'm going to do, because I got this idea from another YouTuber, big fan of his channel. And his title reads this, and I thought I would chime in. It's performing with a backing track cheating. My opinion. And he gave his opinion. I'm going to give mine. Which is somewhere along the lines, well, I'm going to give you my opinion. You know, nothing stays the same, whether that's good or bad. You get a mixture of, okay, it doesn't just stay the same and it's better, and in some aspects it's worse. And you got to ask yourself, which one is most important? It getting better or not for it to continue or get worse? And I remember when I first started my music career, getting into the recording studio. And I've always had a big respect for older people, and still, I run across an older guy and he has something to say. I'm listening because I'm like, shoot, he's seen this movie before, so I'm listening to you because you've been there, done that. Now, whether I agree with you or not is different, but for the most part, I'm like, I can't get steered wrong, unless I run across a very older guy that never learned nothing, because you got some guys out there, they super long in the tooth and they still think they right when they wrong, and you try to avoid those kind of people. So I remember one of these engineers, he had been engineer for at least 30 years at the time. He said, real simple. If you can't play it live, don't play it in the studio. And what he meant by that was, it's a good example. Back in the day when I was a teenager, the Parliament Funkadelics was real big. And some people, not most, but some people's opinion was this. And sometimes I had tended to agree. Don't do anything in the studio that you can't replicate on the stage. It's just that simple. Keep it simple instead of making it extremely difficult when it don't have to be. And a lot of people was complaining that when they went to their concerts, it didn't sound nothing like the record. And it's because of all that studio tricks that you couldn't bring to the stage. And it's like people are coming to hear what they heard on the recordings. That's what brings them to the concerts. And when you show up to perform and your stuff don't sound nothing like your record, it's time to take a step back and evaluate. We were always attention to detail. And we were kind of in a sense, the outcast, and we had followers because people like, hey, I like what you do, real simple. The average concert goer did not come to your concert and spend, I don't know how much concert tickets are now, $50, $60, $70, $100. I'm not quite sure. But they do not come to your concert and spend that kind of money to spend 60% of the concert, them singing along with your song out of key. Because I'm like, I didn't come here to sing your songs. I paid to hear you sing your songs, So we don't believe in that, audience participation. Stand up and clap. These people are tired. Some of them just came from work, or, they didn't come here to stand up and clap and scream with a bunch of other people out of key. They came here to sit in a nice, comfortable chair, kick back like watching TV, and hear you perform your stuff, And I'm like, we got that, right out the gate. It's like, we got that. It's not a problem if you want to get up and clap, but, for the most part, you are forcing your audience, your paying audience, to do something they didn't come here to do. They didn't come here. Don't let them get a lot of liquor in them too. It's gonna be even worse, But that was something that we paid close attention to, as opposed to we're following the format of how this is supposed to be. I'm like, by whose standard? Because just about every drummer that I've ever had the honor of playing along with, they felt this way. Okay, depending on the production and the recording process, we're in the recording studio. I'll sit with the click track. And for those who don't know what a click track is, it's a metronome. They put it in the drummer's ear, right or left ear, and he has to play along with it. He can't fall out of sync because the drummer is the gatekeeper. He's the one that keeps the tempo going. Just about all the drummers that I've ever played with said this. Okay, this is what you want. You paying me, but when I play live, I don't need no click track. Click track. I'm not playing to a click track. I hate the click track, and I can imagine that. But if you so far out of tempo live, because this is live, this is not studio recording, that you have to or forced to or have to, you ain't a drummer. It's like, because I don't expect you to keep 100% of the meter because you're not a machine. I want that imperfection. I want that human feel. It's still boom, 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 boom. Give me some extra stuff to let me know that you are alive instead of just this. Give me some variation instead of just this. And listening to the guy that did this video, and unfortunately sometimes it's like this. This is the new thing, even though the new thing wasn't as good as the old thing, but this is the new thing, so you got to do the new thing with everybody else who's doing the new thing. And I'm like, I can't sign up for that. I can't. I'm like, I'm not going to do it just because everybody else is doing it. I'm going to do it because everybody else is doing it because it's better to do it this way. Because he was talking about nowadays you have to have your laptop to perform. A lot of the lighting system is integrated in the computer software. The backing tracks that fly in and out that you can't do live because you wrote a song that got 3 guitar parts or 3 different effects going on, and you can't, stump box it in while you're performing live. You got to fly it in because, you wrote it that way. And that's the other thing. I've never written anything that I can't perform on stage. Unless there's just extra part, maybe extra guitar part. I'm like, I'm just going to hire another guy to do it. Instead of flying it in and hoping that it comes in sequence. And, I did add an extra added burden to the drummer because he's responsible for keying all this up. And it's like, that's not his job. His job is just to play the drums. This is like, if I'm forced to play guitar, which is what I do, and then I got to, tap in a horn line in because we don't have a horn player, Make it simple. Because I notice more so in this genre of music than anything, the grunge music, the guitar start off clean and doing the chorus, boom, here comes the distortion and something that's probably echoing the guitar part or layer or octave above it. And that's wonderful again, but it's like, think about the live performance. How are you going to be able to do this? Are you going to rely on click tracks and keying in backing tracks that fly in and fly out? It's real simple. Write it the way you go on stage to play it, And if you feel that you don't have enough personnel to pull off, put more people in the band. Because you look in the 70s, you could see bands that were like Earth, Wind & Fire, I think was 11 guys, maybe 12, something like that. Brass construction, mass production, confunction, at least 7, 8 guys, instead of 4 guys. But you want this big orchestra sound, and you don't have enough guys on stage to do that, so you rely on that kind of stuff. Now, it's just a matter of opinion, but it's like, it worked back then. You go get enough personnel to put on that stage to replicate what you done in the studio, and you're done. And one might say, well, times are changing, and we want this bigger arrangement, and it's necessary to get a bigger sound. And I say to myself, a style of music, the hardcore style of it, really hasn't changed. Jazz music. Jazz music don't have orchestra hits and, all these trumpets or all these synth sounds going on, a whole bunch of different piano layers going on at once. They keep it simple. Because when you play well, you can keep it simple. When you kind of not quite sure your talent, you enlist a whole bunch of extra stuff that shouldn't even be in there. to kind of cover up the fact you feel insecure about your playing or your writing or your musicianship within your band. But I know nothing stays the same. I mean, absolutely nothing stays the same. But you want it to become better, not worse, because again, it's just interesting as far as all this elaborate stuff they want to do. And they wrote an elaborate piece with not enough members in the band to pull off this elaborate piece. I mean, it's different when you wrote a song within the confines of your band as far as the structure, and you say to yourself, I want orchestra track in the background. That's different. You hire an orchestra while they play this song you wrote with string arrangements. Nothing wrong with that. But we talking about 4 or 5 different guitars, 4 or 5 different guitar sounds. They layered on top of each other. They doing, something that can't be done just by yourself. To me, you're shooting yourself in the foot. But that's the way that they record nowadays. It's very rare that you find a pop song or rock song nowadays where it's just stripped bare bone. What you can do with it personally with your band personnel is what you do. Instead of, again, the song has several guitar parts. And some of them parts are really important. Because there's some stuff you can omit live. It's like, okay, we just don't have enough, we didn't hire enough people, to do all this, but we can handle the main parts. Everybody that comes to the concerts can hear all the main stuff as opposed to the real background stuff. It's like, okay, we can live without that. But that's my opinion on it. Don't make it complicated. Because then you got to go on stage and make it complicated. And I think it was Jessica Simpson, she was performing on backing tracks. And what's so funny about that, it was on a show called Saturday Night Live. I repeat, Saturday Night Live, That I kind of don't understand. It's different when you don't have your band there or for some reason you can't do it here. But when you got your band on stage, why are you lip syncing? Why are you lip syncing? And I don't believe, from what I know, interacting with other musicians, that's the record companies and the venue, the TV shows thing. That's what they want you to do instead of, I'm here, my vocal cords are here, the mic is in my face. Why can't I sing? Why can't I pull this off? So I felt bad for her because I'm like, that's not her fault. That was not her idea to show up there that day and say, I'm a lip sync and just not singing, just move my mouth. And, the pre-recorded thing we did earlier this today, we're going to let that go. I'm 100% sure that wasn't her idea. And that's just like the majority of the women that kind of push the envelope, coming up on stage half naked and posing on the album cover with their breasts hanging all out. That's not their idea. It's the music executive's idea to make more money. Sex does sell. But it's like when you are talented, all that ain't necessary. Because I didn't come here to see your breasts. I got beautiful breasts at home. I came here to see you perform. That's what I came here for. That's why I paid my money. It's not about I do want you to be presentable on stage. It's like when you go to work, you got to be presentable with your suit and your tie and your dresses or whatever. But that's not why I came here. I came here to see you perform, But everybody's opinion is going to vary when it comes to stuff like this. Because one guy said, as far as these bands now rely on backing tracks, and they better bring their computer because if not, all their songs have been pre-programmed for the show. How confining is that? Whenever we play or played, depending on venue to venue, we could stop in the middle of a song and go to another song. Instead of, we got to play this through because that's how it's been programmed on the computer. We can't jump outside of already the prearranged performances, I got to have musical freedom. Instead, I'm boxed into this for the 40 minutes or an hour, and I have to stick with this script. When, in some instances, depending on where you're playing, what city or whatever, it doesn't work. And it's like, you don't want to spend the next 45 minutes playing a set that's not working. It's still okay, we heard that in this town they really like that song, so let's do that song now. You know, and some songs you omit, and there's some songs that you might add, but nothing stays the same, and they want to do it this way, and it's like, okay, well, that's how it is. But I've been fortunate enough to have played with a lot of guys in my main core band members for over 30 years. We were like brothers, you know. Most half of us are no longer here, but most of us had the same belief system when it came to creating music. You know, like the engineer said, if you can't play it live, don't play it here. If whatever you're trying to do in the studio you can't do live, leave it alone. You know, your arrangements don't have to be super big and super layered. You know, think about the Beatles. It was just four of those dudes, and there wasn't. We bringing in a bunch of other guys to play these things we can't play ourselves because we physically can't do it. You know, and again, going back to jazz music, hardcore jazz music, no layers and all this extra stuff that they can't do on stage because, you know, it's not enough hands on stage to do this. And it's like just about every style of music should be like that. You know, it's like we can't do this unless we go hire five other guys, which now they don't want to do. We're going to do backing tracks and fly these in and out. But that's just Morris Man's opinion. So until next time, take care and thanks for watching.